Hi everyone, it's Adrienne Leah. This is another channeled message. I'm also flowing through the energies of the zodiac signs. So the next reading which is this one, is also for Cancer. So welcome to the reading, Cancer. And if you're another sign or have Cancer in another part of your chart, welcome. I wanted to do one that I felt would be more lighthearted. The last couple of readings have been heavier messages, and I do love getting the most out of my messages, but I also understand if people might get stressed when there's so much coming out of them. Um, so if you have been watching the last couple of readings, and you might have been feeling um, so much and you would like to wind down a little bit, this will be one that is lighthearted. Um, and it isn't my intention to upset anybody, so I am sorry if the readings are really heavy for you. Um, I was thinking about this reading today, and the topic that was coming up is moving house again. So that might be something to process, especially if you are going through this. It doesn't need to be physically, but in some cases around this time, it'll be applicable to you. And with the Cancer energy, it is a general tendency that they do like to have a nice environment, is something that is homely to them in the best way, and that is part of their comfort, and in a way it links to their love language too. So the decks that I'll be reading are the Slavic Legends Tarot. When I think of a lighthearted reading, I think about the Earthside Divine Tarot. I recently uncovered it in my collection of decks. I have the Pastoral Tarot. And I think that with the scenic type of imagery, it does give calm energy to the reading too. Then this one is a newer one. It's the Tarot of the Old Path. The last one that I'll be using is the Wildwood Tarot. Sorry, I was getting the Slavic Legends because I do keep it in a separate bag so I don't have to keep opening the box. I want to keep it in good condition. But I also have this other deck behind me, and it's a fairy deck. It's the Amy Brown Fairy Wisdom deck. So that'll be an oracle card. So there's a couple of different decks that I'll be pulling out of. For some, it for this move, it might not be something that's super intentional. It something it's something that might be more forced. Um, Not necessarily an eviction, but going somewhere where it's safer, going somewhere where maybe it's more affordable or there the area has more opportunity and but I'm also getting as if someone would talk to maybe their child or their loved one, your child and loved one, and would ask, like, why do people just destroy? As if maybe their home isn't what it used to be. And then it's just like, well, some people love to love, and some people want to just tear it down and build a casino on top of it. But in those moments, instead of relying on the physical home, which is also super important, the most and I think the best thing is to become one's home, as if like the family is the home, that other person is part of your home. Um, Kind of like my friend calls the guy she's with, she's like, we're for lifers. So it's like for lifers type of energy. They're thick and thin, those types of bonds where you call them when the happiest things happen to you or when things don't go well and you want to put your head on somebody's shoulder and that's the person that you go to. And the type of home that is built on pure love where it can't be broken like that. So it is starting off with strong energy, but it's not bad energy. So the first card that I turned over is the present card, and it's the death card, but it's not necessarily death in most cases. But it with the obstacle, it does feel like putting all your energy up. The obstacle is the Page of Wands, and with these cards together, it's like you're putting all your energy in to close out something, and there's a lot of heaviness that comes out of it. But like seasons, they come and go, and one of the most important things is to find the most fulfilling and the happiest moments that come out of these times. There's also the phoenix energy that could come out of it too, to let something die so that it could live again. Some things just need to grow as if it has just been born, if that makes sense. It's like when a tree knows it's gonna transition from a warm season to a cold season, and the leaves know when it's ready to fall, and it falls, and things end up dying, and then the next seasons after that, after the cold ones, are the times where it's more isolated, and we try to find warmth in other ways than the natural warmth of the things that we're used to, the things that we used to rely on. We move differently at in these times, and I think it's also important to mourn so that it opens up a path for us to heal. I would say I haven't turned over all the cards yet, but the overall energy for the Slavic Legends Tarot is the Queen of Swords, and that is definitely a nice card to have in these times of preparations. Um, with the Queen of Swords, she's definitely going to do her due diligence, and she cuts things when she needs to cut things. She brings things in when she needs to. She's not necessarily a queen that's afraid. She's ruled by her mind because she's part of the sword suit. And although she does carry other types of elements as humans we do, um, ultimately it's the air sign. It's an air sign, and that's the dominant part of it that we're learning from. So with this, I'm getting she'll take the wins where she can get them, and she'll still wear her crown. It's almost as if it's what is it? Like a sailor with their ship. With the future, it's the Wheel of Fortune. It does feel like there's a restoration type of energy. And sorry, I talk about myself sometimes in the readings, but it kind of reminds me of this antique spinning wheel that I just fell in love with, and I have been eyeing it for a while because um I am moving and I'm trying not to get so many heavy things. Specifically, the I'm sorry, the description it says it's heavy. So it's almost as if because in your past position you have the Six of Cups, which is like the past. It's a card and position that's directly linked to the past. So it does feel like something needs to be restored. And we'll make this as comfortable as the reading will be and to not fear the cards. Because I was asking why was it stuck in the past? And it kind of looked, because the cards that I'm getting are the Devil, the Ten of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. So with the Knight of Cups and Knights in general, they tend to be fleeing energy. They tend to be energies that are kind of on their own missions. They don't necessarily have the responsibilities that a queen and king does. So in some cases it could be the lack of responsibility, as I said, and honestly in some cases the lack of accountability with the Ten of Swords and the Devil card. As if um there was something that held these two back, or since I said held those two back, and it halted basically their cycle together. But then the next step of how to overcome the obstacle, because it seems like there might have been something where both of you guys had to end something in order to restore something, like in the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune, sometimes you have to spend money to make money type of mentality. Maybe there's some investments or other responsibilities that came up. Maybe that's why the Knight of Cups left. Um, but with moving again as the title, it seems like with the movement, there's still movement. It hasn't like necessarily stopped. And with the Ten of Cups, these this family is outside in not in a house, maybe out in a different area, but still making the best of the situation that they're in, still finding ways to make each other laugh or try to find ways to see the bigger picture of why things get cut down and something else gets built on top of it. So there's definitely a releasing energy that's coming out of this. In the Earthside Divine, the Death card came up again. So it is a transitioning time. But, I mean, another transitioning card is the Six of Swords, and you see the child next to a boat. And it's one of those maybe difficult times, and the child might be like, I'm afraid I don't want to go in this boat. I don't want to go in the water. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Well, and you could say, well, baby, we'll do this together, thick and thin. And it's almost as if you're saying, like, say they wanted something and they didn't get it, as if they were hoping to have something in life. And it could be smaller things, it could be larger things. And they're asking, well, I prayed for it and it didn't come true. And that's when you come in and you're like, because you didn't pray big enough, you didn't dream big enough, you didn't get it because you're supposed to get something better. With this energy, I'm also getting crane. It looks like one of the birds that it could be in the background. And with that, there's almost like a sense of grace that comes out of it. Um, with the deaths that come out of the reading, it's almost as if you've come to terms with it. And now you can move forward and rebuild again. There's a maturing that comes out of this, sorry. There's writing on the cards, and it's some of them are light, but I love the cards. So it's the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. It's one of the words on here is, or two of the words, is dedicated and impactful. There's also patient. Um, and a sense of maturity with it too, because before the obstacle was the page, and the page is before the knight because it's page, knight, queen, and king in the court cards and tarot. So somebody looks like they're really taking the situation seriously, and this does feel like more responsibility that's tacked on. And it looks like there could be a motivation from the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords looks like the main person, or like even a team player in this case too. From the Tarot of the Old Path, the card that came out is the Eight of Pentacles. And it looks like it's like the art of straw, making stuff with straws. That's what the person is doing with this, because the Eight of Pentacles in a way is like an established energy. It's as if you've been doing something for a long time. So there's a sense of stability there. But in this case, I'm not saying it's completely reversed, but it's as if you were a teacher, you're becoming a student again. There's other things that you're learning. It might be within the scope of what you already know, or it could be something that's a little different or completely different. And it's not that much of a surprise because the Queen of Swords, she likes to know things. I feel like she would have like a a full bookshelf. Because it feels like there isn't, so there's the maturity from becoming the page to the knights. There's also a little bit of fatigue too. For some reason, I'm getting like tongue twisted in this reading, so it's might be not knowing what to say, not knowing what to do type of energy too. And it's almost as if taking one manageable step at a time. You see the jackrabbits here and the two of stones, and the word there is challenge. And that could be also the dominating energy of a page graduating into a knight. Then you also have the connection with the two of vessels, the two of cups. I'm also getting like energy of a bread trail or like a crumb trail, as if as somebody keeps moving forward and their paths, it's not like they don't align, but maybe somebody had to go back and do something. Maybe somebody forgot something where they were at last, or they have to work overtime, or they're doing other things. Um, and they're pulling each other's weights, or pulling their own weights in different ways in this dynamic. So with the crumb trail, it's like if somebody's ahead in some way, um, they're leaving the crumbs so that the other person can follow and eventually meet up with this person. So there could also be more of a intuitive connection too, if you believe in that, like with the Two of Cups, because if there was the Ten of Swords earlier in the reading and there was halted communication, there might be other ways that they're connecting to each other. So it could be telepathically or something where their souls still are connected in some way, in some way. Um, almost halted communication. Oh my God, I keep like stuttering. Halted communication, like maybe somebody was stuck somewhere where it was hard to communicate, like in a facility where they couldn't communicate, maybe like in a bunker or a military base, somewhere where it gets cut off. Um, there's also the Six of Bows and the Judgment card, which has the Great Bear. One song that's coming up. And it could be like a little bit of frustration too, because the song that's coming up is Headstrong by Trapt, and it's Trapt. Um, like Headstrong will take you on. So it's almost like taking on the Great Bear. And it doesn't necessarily mean to be so direct, but it could be. But it's also where the bear is blocking, or the bear, this like has an opening here, like a cave. So what is in that cave and how does it benefit you, or how can you get to like that doorway or get past the bear? That's what it looks like. And it does look like head on because it's the Six of Bows, and it looks like these wands or these bows are directing, like it's like a targeting thing, like it's targeting something. So pull out a couple more cards. Oh, and well, let's see. It kind of feels like learning about your environment in different ways. Almost as if you're seeing your environment in a way that you haven't seen it before. Like um when you're taught something, it kind of makes you look at something differently. Because you have the Ten of Swords again. But the card that I pulled out first is the Page of Pentacles. So it feels like it almost feels like working from nothing, but it also feels like innovative energy too, where you're finding other ways to work with what you have. And then you have the Ten of Cups that comes up again. I think there's like an enjoyment that you're getting help. Although this is like apple picking, and it just feels like the I feel like the Queen of Swords, specifically in this reading, I think there's an appreciation for because she's in a way like helping. And then there's strength at the bottom of the deck. Because she's also linked to like the sword suit, like especially the court cards of the sword suit. They're more linked to like military energy too, or they're more linked to like um industrious, like human type of related energy. Very like tactful in a way, and learning how to work within those guidelines. Um, I would say that it really helps with the with your character too. I know before I moved to this area, because I moved to different parts of the US, but the area that I'm in now, it's like I guess like my soul called me here to learn some things because I definitely got more of a backbone when I'm because I moved here. It's like 15 to half an hour from Washington, D.C., the Pentagon, and CIA headquarters. So there's a lot of government things going on, a lot of um, energy that just seems more cut and dry in a way. A lot of people that come here, they're not from this area. It's a business area. So there's a sense of familiarity with that. And as I said that, it looked like the card was looking at me. So I do feel like that could have been more of a validation than the other cards. I think I'm gonna end it on this one because I'm a Libra. And I know, like, I think Cancer would appreciate it too. Because the card that I have here is devotion. And I think that's such a sweet card. This card was actually at the bottom of the deck before I started shuffling. And it really does feel like through thick and thin, no matter what, it's we're gonna go out and we're gonna be who we are. People are going to see our secret handshake. They're going to think that we're weirdos, but it's okay because that handshake has like the purest form of love, and that's like a superpower in itself. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was validating, and I hope that you got insight on your situation, a moment in time, the things that's happening in your life. Could be with yourself, it could be with other people. Um, and hope you have some things to that you can process easier and put you more at ease. So I'll see you in another video. Bye.